Hey guys, today I'm going to go over the California ADU laws of 2020. ADU meaning Accessory Dwelling Unit, which basically is a smaller house on your property. So the law basically covers what is allowed in building a second house on your property. I'm going to go over the really important stuff. I'm not going to spend too much time on the finer details. So if you want to look at the details yourself, you can look up government code 65852.2 for the ADU laws, or 65852.22 for the junior ADU laws. If you are new to this channel, welcome. I usually talk about personal finance topics, but since I recently talked about why building an ADU in California is one of the best investments that I could find right now, I thought it would be useful to go a little bit deeper into the weeds and talk about the actual law. The new ADU laws have pretty much flipped my world upside down, but in a good way, because I'm going to be spending the next year or so maximizing these laws to its fullest potential on my own property. So I've gained a pretty good understanding of these laws now. So if you have any questions after you watch this video, just feel free to ask them below. Alright, before we get into the laws, it's important to understand why these laws got passed in the first place. If you look at California as a whole, we have some of the highest housing costs, which results in a lot of poor people and a lot of homelessness. The median house price in California is over 2.5 times the median house price of the US. And if you live in LA or Orange County or San Diego or the Bay Area, it's even larger than that. So as a result, 20% of our residents are living in poverty, and we have the third highest homelessness per capita. The cause of this is simply just a lack of supply in housing. California ranked 49th out of 50 in number of housing units per resident. And if you want to guess who number 50 is, it is Utah, which is pretty surprising. As an effort to offer affordable housing, homeowners can choose to build an ADU, or accessory dwelling unit, which, like I said, is like a second smaller house on your property. And they can choose to use either the ADU or their main house as rental income, so they can offset their housing costs and offer affordable housing at the same time. So it's like a win-win. Sounds like a great idea, right? Well, before 2020, cities basically had full reign on how much you can build on your property. But now, after the laws have passed, that's all changed. So to better understand these laws, let's talk about how a house is built in the first place. When a homeowner or a developer builds a house on a piece of land, they want to maximize their investment as much as possible, right? So they would often build as much as they are allowed to on a property. So there are minimum distances from the edge of a property line that a structure has to be within. And these minimum distances are called setbacks, and cities can regulate setbacks. So a city can say, for example, that you need a 15-foot front and rear setback, and you need a 5-foot side setback. So as a result, a homeowner or developer will build all the way to the edge of those setbacks, leaving no additional space for additional structures. Even if you got rid of the setback rules, the city can still limit other things like lot coverage ratio. So for example, let's say that your lot is 4,000 square feet and you have a single family home that is 1,600 square feet that is on one story. So what the city can say is that, oh, we only allow for a 40% lot coverage ratio, which is defined by how much land you cover with structures, 1,600 square feet, divided by 4,000, which is your overall lot size, and you get 40%. So since you're already at 40%, you can't add an ADU. Or even if you had a larger lot, like a 5,000 square foot lot, they can just say, oh, you don't have enough space for additional parking. Or they can just make up some other rule because they have full control over the permitting process. Even if you're lucky enough to have enough land that you can develop within their existing lot coverage rules or their floor area ratio rules or whatever other stuff that they require, they can still make it time consuming by making you go through a bunch of design review boards, or charge you tens of thousands of dollars by charging you something called impact fees that a lot of people will just be like, forget it, not worth it. So this is what the ADU laws are designed to fight against. All right, so this is the important part. First off, the setback rules are pretty much eliminated at this point. Now for an ADU, you can build within 4 feet of your rear and side setbacks. As long as you build within 4 feet of your rear and side setbacks, for a detached ADU, you can build up to 800 square feet without having to worry about any floor area ratios or lot coverage ratios. Additionally, if you build less than 750 square feet, you don't have to worry about any impact fees. And if you build more than 750 square feet, the impact fees are restricted so they cannot be excessive. If your house has an attached garage, you can convert that garage into a junior ADU, which is defined as a dwelling that is 500 square feet or less, has its own entrance, and is built within the main house structure. You could technically turn any part of your house into a junior ADU, but most of the time, turning your garage, your attached garage, into your junior ADU makes the most sense. If you convert a garage, you do not have to provide any additional parking. If you convert other parts of your house, like an attic or a basement, for an attic, you'll have to provide a stairway and a separate entryway. For a basement, you'll probably have to bring your entryway up to code. So the law allows you to expand up to 150 square feet for the purposes of adding an entry, including stairway. If you have to expand to build an ADU, even if it's just a stairway, then that is no longer a junior ADU. That is now defined as attached ADU. Why this is important is because if you have enough land to build a detached ADU and you have a portion of your house that you want to turn into a junior ADU, like an attached garage, the law allows you to do both. You can have one detached ADU and one junior ADU. This pretty much turns your single family home into a triplex, where if you rent out 2 out of your 3 units, you could pretty much probably cover your mortgage. So this makes a lot of homes in California a feasible investment, whereas in the past it wouldn't have been. But in order for this to work, you have to build specifically a detached ADU and a junior ADU. So it's important to know the difference between which is which. Pop quiz. Label the following as a detached ADU, an attached ADU, or a junior ADU. A 400 square foot attached garage that is converted into a dwelling. That one's an easy one. It's a junior ADU. A 525 square foot attached garage that is converted into a dwelling. That one is an attached ADU because it is over 500 square feet, so it no longer qualifies as a junior ADU. A 450 square foot detached but existing garage that is converted into a dwelling. That is a detached ADU, even though it is an existing garage that we are converting. Because it is detached from the main house, it doesn't qualify as a junior ADU. A 350 square foot basement that you have to expand the staircase in order to bring it up to code. That is an attached ADU because you had to expand past the main house structure, therefore eliminating it as qualifying for a junior ADU. You might be able to get around this though if you just apply for a regular permit to get that entryway up to code. And then once after you build it, that entryway is deemed part of the existing structure, and then you can convert that into a junior ADU. A 450 square foot new expansion of the main house that will be used as a dwelling. That is also an attached ADU, but perhaps there's also a workaround if you do a regular 450 square foot expansion as just like a bedroom and a bathroom. And after that is completed, that is deemed part of your existing main house. And then after it's deemed existing, then you can convert it into a junior ADU. That's actually what I'll be doing, and I don't see why that wouldn't work. So remember, one detached ADU and one junior ADU, not an attached ADU and a junior ADU, not a detached ADU and attached ADU, specifically one detached ADU and one junior ADU. Here's a couple more things that are worth noting in the ADU laws. Number one is that fire sprinklers are not required if they are not required in the main house. Number two is that the cities can restrict you from Airbnb-ing your ADU, but you can likely get around this by just moving into your ADU and then Airbnb-ing the main house. 3, if you have a non-permitted ADU, you have until 2025 to bring it up to code, and the city cannot take any action against you until 2025. 4, cities can require that owners live somewhere on the property if you build an ADU, but this is not enforceable until 2025. And lastly, cities can require owners live somewhere on the property if they build a junior ADU, and this is enforceable now. So the owner occupancy grace period exception only applies for ADUs and not junior ADUs. Okay, cool. Questions? Comments? Put them below. If you haven't seen my video on where I analyze the return on investment on building an ADU, I'll put it over here. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm not selling anything. I don't own a company that helps people build ADUs. I'm just an average guy that ran the numbers, and I can't find anything else that gives you the most returns with the least amount of risk.